Hi, and you're welcome to today's content. I am Ophelia Boma, and I am a mental health advocate. And today I'm here to educate you about stress. So why am I here? I am here basically because of you watching me right now and your attitude towards stress. So today's topic is stress. Okay, why is it so important for us to talk about stress, to observe stress, to understand the warning signs and symptoms of stress and how to cope or manage it? It is because a lot of young people and adults have underrated stress. When anyone talks about stress, it's always more like, you are exaggerating. Just get used to it. Come on, buckle up. You need to do better. This is not enough. You are being lazy. And these kinds of negative words accompanied by stress actually makes an individual not even want to acknowledge being overly stressed. Okay, so I just want to pass on this examination. When was the last time you took time to observe yourself being stressed? Okay, and what did you do to manage that stress? So let's go deeper into understanding what stress is. If I ask you what stress is, what would you say? Normally people would say, it is just being tired, and then wanting more sleep or wanting more rest. Yes, you are right. However, stress is defined by you being overly tensed, worn out, exhausted, or simply being overwhelmed. Okay, so there are small amounts of stress and there are large or big amount of stress. For the small amount of stress, we can say it is important we all go under such stress. It can be motivating. It can help us to be alert and keep up to our to-do list daily. It can also help us to gauge where we stand as in being productive or not, and what else we need to do to make our working culture productive. However, large amount of stress can cause other physical illnesses or emotional and behavioral problems. A lot of times, people who go through this large amount of stress get adapted to the stress, thereby not noticing or not acknowledging how stressful that environment may be. For example, we have acute stress and chronic stress. So acute stress meaning what? It is brief and intense, and this is normally what is short-term stress. So for example of an acute stress is when you are preparing for your end of year review, and you have this performance anxiety, putting this data or statistics together to make a meaning for your multinational or national company or institution. You moving to a different place, packing your things and all of that can also be very juggling at the same time. For the acute stress, we go through them every day. Anything that actually stresses you out, it could be short term, it could be brief but intense, are called the acute stress. For the chronic stress, these are what long-term stresses, and the chronic stress are normally accumulation of the acute stress. Normally chronic stress are not intense at the moment, but an accumulation of the acute stress. An example of chronic stress is what being laid off at work. Initially, if you have saved money, you could manage your daily work and your finances, but over time you can see that renting and paying your bills, taking care of your family could become a very difficult thing to do. And the same with losing a loved one. When someone passes on, it could bring about stress, because by then you are emotionally trying to deal with the grief and the people coming around passing out condolences, funeral arrangements and all of that. For a long time you could also go through this chronic stress. Also, an unhealthy relationships, those of you in toxic dramatic relationships, you could hear someone saying, she stresses me out, or my children stresses me out, or my husband stresses me out. All of that, in accumulation of that, can lead to what? Chronic stress. So now the symptoms of an acute stress is just headache or migraines, tensed muscles, tiredness, being worn out, and a short disruptive moments can be what symptoms of acute stress. For chronic stress is very bad because there are long-term chronic problems associated with chronic stress, and I'll mention this as we go on. So all that I have said, can you really find yourself going through these hassles daily? myself, I do sitting in traffic, for example, all the way from Adenta to Accra is a daily hassle. How about in major circumstances that has happened? Maybe you laying off at work, you having difficulty in finances, and you know, all of this in accumulation could cause you to be accustomed to this new normal. It's more like, oh, if it is traffic every day, it's normal. And so someone moving from Bolga to Accra would first of all be stressed, but when they get accustomed to it, it's more like, I can live with this, and this can lead to a chronic stress. Now let's go to the symptoms. Okay, symptoms of stress. Now there are physical symptoms, cognitive and emotional symptoms, and lastly behavioral symptoms. I am telling you this for you to gauge where you stand and then seek help. For the physical symptoms, you can have, like I mentioned, headaches, asthma, migraines, back pains, chest pains, muscle pains, because you know there are various parts of muscles in our bodies, and when you are overly stressed or when you're overwhelmed by stress, you could feel the sensation of these tense. You could feel the sensation of these muscles being tense, so tense that you can't even stretch your hand like this. If you're watching me and you're at the office, just, you know, I would like you to create this self-awareness right now and follow through the sensation of your body anywhere you feel tense muscles or anywhere you feel pain. So these tense muscles could be your fingers or your palms, okay, and then your biceps, okay, because there are muscles here, your shoulders, the back, okay, muscles are there, your head here, there are muscles in the middle of your face, there are muscles there, your jawline, and then your neck, okay, so your hips or your butts, your glutes, your thighs, your knees, your feet, your toes, there are muscles all over you. So anytime you are overly stressed or overwhelmed by a duty, you could feel that these muscles are so tense you can't even stretch. You can't, like, you wake up from bed, you felt you rested, but you wake up from bed and you feel so tense, right? You can't even move. So this is as a result of what a physical symptom that, man or lady, you are stressed. Sometimes indigestion, you know, because when you are stressed, your brain focus is releasing cortisol, and it is focusing on this cortisol, not on your digestion. Okay, an example is if you find something scary, you know, your brain is focused on you finding safety than digesting the food. All right, so this is a way to understand that if you begin to have digestive problems, okay, it could mean that you are overly stressed, and the brain is focusing on how to manage the stress. Chest pains, like I mentioned, you could find some people being nauseous. When you wake up in the morning, you're feeling so nauseous, you want to throw up, or even at night, you want to throw up. When you're working, you want to throw up. That is a physical symptom of you being stressed. Feeling fatigue, definitely. Always being dizzy or dull at work, always being tired, this could mean a physical symptom of stress. Now let's go to the emotional or the cognitive symptoms of stress. We can have memory problems when you are always like forgetfulness, like when you're always forgetting something, as in, did I turn the gas off? Like, did I remember to turn off the fan before leaving the house, or the AC? You forget a lot. Even at work, you forget. Going to one office to another, you enter into an office and you forgot why you came into the office the first place, or even just things around your own space. Decreased sex drive. This is where couples are like, these days we barely have sex because we are stressed. All right, or the woman telling the man, these days you don't give me any attention. That is because there's a decreased sex drive. You are tired, you are stressed. Even if you have sex, you won't get the quality of the sex. So decreased sex drive is a cognitive or emotional symptom of stress. Mood instability or mood swings or mood fluctuations. This time you're happy, another time you're angry, or you're agitated, or you're aggressive, or you're just having problems or confusion in your communication because you can't get things straight or right, and you feel that there's just so much, there's just so much you have to do and people don't really understand, and you feel you're the only person actually doing this alone. It could bring about relationship problems. loss of motivation and difficulty concentrating, like I mentioned, because your brain cells are more into releasing this cortisol and trying to manage in its own way this stress. A lot of you will be unfunctioning. Why? Or dysfunctional. Why? Because of how the brain cells is working to manage this stress. So you have problems concentrating or focusing, or you have problems just making your sentence right or straight. Then you begin to be worried. Unnecessary worry. Everything just gets you worried. Everything just gets you worried. This could mean that what you are stressed, low in energy as well. You are stressed. Now let's talk about the behavioral symptoms of being stressed. The behavioral symptom is what? Nail biting. I used to bite my nails when I was a kid, and my mom tried so well to help me stop biting my nails, and I really did stop. And I couldn't tell if that was as a result of stress or just a behavior. I can't tell. But if you're an adult and you find yourself biting your nails, at work you're biting your nails, at home you're biting your nails, family meetings and gatherings you're biting your nails, company meetings you're biting your nails, at lunch you're biting your nails, you are stressed, man. You need to de-stress, okay? So anytime I meet people with short fingernails, I just understand somehow that these people are really stressed in life. Now, another behavior is constant thoughts about the stress. The reason why you are being stressed, you constantly think about, oh God, so I'm going to sit in this traffic to the house. Or this work, this pile of work, when am I going to finish it? When is my husband going to do this? When is my wife going to do this? Constantly thinking about the stressor in your life. The restlessness and teeth grinding. Oh God. Oh my goodness. How am I going to do this? Oh, have you done that? Oh goodness. You people, you kill me, especially mothers. These children will kill me in this house. These children will kill me in this house. You know. And fathers say, my wife is my problem. So restlessness and teeth grinding. Oh my goodness. You know, grinding your teeth because you're restless. Everything, just your behavior shows that, man, you are stressed about something. Then disrupted sleep, diet, and exercise. So for those of you who have a very good diet, those of us who go to the gym to keep fit, there'll be disruptions, or you skip all of these because you are stressed. So you can have interpersonal or intrapersonal conflict. Being overly stressed can make you have relationship problems with people you work or at home or anything, right? And also within yourself, you are battling with yourself, with your thoughts, with your feelings and emotions, with your behavior. Everything around you is like so messy, or everything around you is just stuck. And then withdrawal, social withdrawal, okay? You begin to, isolate yourself and you're thinking about your problems. Or you begin to feel that you're alone in this and no one else understands you. And then substance use. Okay, so I used to think that people who take substance mainly was just for fun. Okay, until my profession taught me that people use substance to cope with stress or an overwhelming situation. All right, I have met people like that in my profession who use nicotine to calm or relax themselves down, or weed or cigarette or vaping, or a whole lot, or even alcohol to just calm themselves down. Now, this is a maladaptive way of managing your stress, and so sometimes you can find all kinds of people that you didn't even think would smoke or would use substance, and they're using it not really for the fun aspect of it or the entertaining aspect of it, but mainly because they want to calm themselves down. This is because they lack the knowledge or information on how to positively calm themselves down or manage their stress. And then procrastination. Your to-do list at the end of the day has not been done. Like 1/3 of it is still not done because you're overly stressed. You are dysfunctional, all right? And so you are even hard on yourself because you don't understand that this is because you are stressed. That's why you couldn't complete your to-do list. But you are so hard on yourself. You're a failure. You are not doing anything right, and all of those self-judgment or high self-criticism, So these are what? The behavioral symptoms of stress. Now, the consequences of the chronic stress. The effects of the chronic stress I first spoke about. As in, chronic stress is an accumulation of the acute stress. Your daily hustles or circumstances and big changes in your life and all of that can accumulate to the chronic stress. And for those of you who normally just underrate stress, who think that stress is nothing and that you can just adapt or get yourself accustomed to it, are on your way to this chronic consequences. For example, a chronic consequence of stress is sleep problems. This is where you find yourself being unable to sleep. You can take all the sleeping pills. You can do whatever that you want to do. Get your room, designed or customized in a very sleep, mood, but you still will not fall asleep because you're overly stressed. Your brain, like I said, is trying to manage this stress on its own. You have neglected yourself, and now it means that every energy is directed towards managing this stress, and your body is giving up, so you cannot sleep. It's only a relaxed brain that can sleep. Have you ever seen someone running for his life and thinking about sleep? That is exactly the mood that you are. You are hyperventilating, and there's no way your brain can be relaxed to sleep. So you need to induce relaxation. That's why some people use alcohol. Why? Because they'll daze or they'll boost the brain to sleep. It's only when your brain is relaxed that it can sleep. And if you use alcohol, you wake up the next morning feeling a very terrible headache because it wasn't done naturally. And you repeat the cycle. You sleep and you wake up feeling still tired and exhausted than before. And then you can also have heart problems or heart disease, and then anxiety disorder, always panicking, fearful thoughts, always being worried. Why? Because you're not being relaxed. And then skin diseases. You can research existing literature that connects skin diseases to what? To stress. Yes. Memory impairment, like I said, early dementia or delirium or all those kinds of things are all associated to stress. You guys need to read more about the effects of stress. It is a problem. Okay, some people think, okay, mental health, this is what mental health is. How you observe stress, your own stress, how you take care of your own self is what we call mental health. Poor diet and exercise. Some people, when they are stressed, they gain weight. Okay, and then before you realize you're overweight, you're obese, and you have all of these DM, hypertension, it's a whole lot. And then depression, because the more you are stressed, you isolate yourself or you withdraw yourself. And tell me, how does depression start? By isolation, right? You always buried in your own problems or difficulties, and you're struggling and suffering alone before you realize you have low mood and loss of pleasure, and nothing seems colorful or meaningful to you again. So now, how can we manage stress? So all that I have mentioned, ask yourself, have you been good to yourself? Have you been a good person to yourself? Have you been practicing self-love? Like when you look at yourself, would you say, I have neglected myself or I've denied myself? All right, so but I'm just going to end and wrap this up because I don't want this video to be more than 10 minutes. I want you to be able to manage stress, okay? And there are so many ways to manage it. There is CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. There is resilience. There is mindfulness, visionary, breathing exercises, and a whole lot to keep you balanced so that you are not overly stressed. And today, I just want to go with the breathing exercise, and I want to do this with the visualization. But there is more. If you're under stress, just walk into a psychologist's office and say, you know what, I'm stressed. I need this. I need this. I need this therapy for stress. And you'll be taken through series and multiples of therapies to help you manage stress so that you can have a good night's sleep. You can have a deep sense of sleep and you wake up feeling refreshed and renewed. You can have a very positive relationship with yourself and other people, with your wife and with your children and co-workers, and you become a happy person. Okay, so for today on the breathing exercise, I just want you to feel relaxed wherever you are. If you are in a safe environment, you can even close your eyes. Close your eyes and then you breathe in into your stomach. When you breathe into your stomach, it will open up, your stomach will open, like your diaphragms will open, and you breathe into the diaphragms and then feel in. So the tree, they'll say what? Right? Am I right? Yes. You pull the air into your stomach, you open it up and take in the air. So when you're breathing in, make sure that your shoulders do not lift. As in, no, this is not a good breathing. This is more of a flight or fight or freeze response. Okay, so breathing in And then in my next video, I'll talk more about this stresses response. That is the fight, the flight, or the freeze response. But today, let's do this breathing. So I want you to close your eyes. If you're in a safe environment, close your eyes. Breathe in into your stomach and out through your mouth. Okay, so we are going to do this 5 times. So some of you might do this right? It means that you were always breathing the wrong way, and now you are resetting the right breathing. So you have yourself pausing in doing the right breathing. So do not panic, continue doing it. Breathe in into your stomach and breathe out. So I'm going to add visionary or imaginary to this breathing. So I'm going to imagine myself in a very happy place, and most of my happy place is being by myself, listening to my favorite music, to the sound of music, to the rhythm of the music. And I want to imagine myself being at Amejokwe. I visited there just a few days ago. Beautiful, beautiful, serene. I enjoyed the mountains and the greenery, the landscape. Oh my goodness, I was living in the clouds. Like, I am telling you, but if you're doing this by yourself, you could just take your memory back there. And what are your memories? Your 5 senses are your memories. So you engage your 5 senses. What you saw, what you heard, what you smelled, the taste, and then the feeling of the environment on your skin. So this is your 5. So these are your 5 senses. So you engage your 5 senses, and these are your visualization. How I experience this, I love the sight, the greenery, so beautiful. I enjoyed whatever that I saw there. And then the smell of the clouds, you know, so scentless, and I could feel it on my skin. It was so cool and calm, right? And then I heard the wind, beautiful, beautiful sound of the wind, and I enjoyed the taste of the rain. I mean, the raindrops, so beautiful, so nice. And I am visualizing this and breathing in and out in a very calm state for myself. I don't know what it is for you, but you can also visualize yourself in a very positive environment, in a very happy place, and you engage your senses. What did you see? What was it? How did you feel? Who spoke to you? What was the sound of the voice? Did you like it? And you go deeper into the taste of your mouth. What was the taste right there? Was it sweet? Was it sour? Was it bitter? Did you taste the water there? What was the taste of it? Did you smell anything? Was it a human being? Was it plants? Was it the ocean? Or was it just a river or a stream? Was it scentless? Okay? And tell me the feeling on your skin. How was it? Did you love the feeling? Would you want to go there again? So you're doing this and breathing in and out in a very calm state and loving yourself through this process. Loving myself through this process. And it's beautiful, because this is me experiencing life and living life in a fulfilled way, and living life in a self-sufficient way, and living life through self-love and self-compassion, having mercy and grace on myself, and enjoying my transcendence of my reality. Some of you, when you do this, you see yourself floating, right? Or in a very different space or environment. It is still you, but you are speaking to your inner self. You are speaking to your real self, or your id, what we call the ID, satisfying all your pleasures and involving your 5 senses, giving yourself the fulfillment that you need. So you can breathe in and out, and then bring yourself back to life, to the environment that you are. So we are done with today's breathing exercise technique with visualization, and I'll do more of this, for you to distress, and I want you to do this every day. Another way of distressing is doing your hobby. At the end of the day, when you come home, don't forget yourself. Complete a hobby. Listen to your favorite music, or dance, or exercise, or stretch, or talk to a loved one, or talk about something, or communicate with yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror, or recording yourself, or playing a musical. There are so many ways to just, what is simply distressing? It is more of bringing yourself to a state where you appreciate your life. It is bringing yourself to a place where you look in and have a deep reflection of yourself, and there is gratitude of all your daily hassles, of all the big changes and small changes in your life. You come at a certain space in your home and you tell yourself, I'm loving myself through this. Okay, so have a good day and take care. I didn't intend for this video to be this long, honestly, but that's what education is all about. Bye. Remember to subscribe. Okay.